This is 3A part 2. So you've created a storyboard and now you're going to be developing this animated graphic and showing annotated evidence of how each of the requirements were met. So really we need to have our storyboard in front of us. We still need to be checking the requirements of the question so that when we finished it we double check that everything meets the requirements, but we also got our storyboard here which gives us a bit more of a pictorial look of what we're going to actually be producing. So let's start by sorting out our animation size. So if we go to our design ribbon here, then you'll notice there are some options such as slide size, and we can change this so we have a custom slide size, and now we can choose that so that it matches what we were going to go for, which is 30 centimeters by 6 centimeters. We'll click on OK and we can then see what it's going to look like. Now this bit here where it says maximize or ensure fit, this is if you had already put your pictures, if you've already created your slides and then you're changing the size afterwards, then ensure fit will make sure that all the images get resized properly for you. So that's quite straightforward. We'll just delete all this content area because we're going to be creating everything from scratch. We've got a slide here now, and if we just copy that, we've got our 3 slides that we're going to use that will be 4 seconds each. Next thing we're going to do is find some photographs. So just find some photographs of a college. It doesn't really matter what you look for. So this one we'll do here, I think. We'll drag that one on. And there's a picture of a college. And then you need 2 more that are going to go in other parts of your image. Let's have a look at this. What we can do, of course, is crop the image down. I'm keeping it on the right hand side because I'm told that the text is going to be on the top left and that the logo is going to be at the bottom left. So we'll just crop that a little bit from the top and bottom, and we've now got one of our images. So I'm not going to put the other images on. You'll be able to work out how to do those other images yourself. What we now need to look at is how we're going to get the text on. Now I could put the text on there, copy and paste it onto each slide. That would work. We'd still be able to get this to slide up and down ourselves, but really the best way to do it is put it through the master slide. So if we go to view, slide master, and it always defaults to this one, doesn't it? We want it to be on every slide, so let's just make sure we go to the top one because that then solves any problems that we might come across. And the first thing we're going to need to do is put that text on there. So we'll need to put a text box. It's no good type it in here because it just won't appear. That's just for setting the styles. So we'll put a text box on there, and that'll be our Lamplighters College text. Of course, you'll need to think about how big you want that to be, and then we need to put our logo on there. So if we grab that, our logo, oops, which we created earlier, so there it is, and we want the PNG format one. We'll resize that, put it over here. That's our master slide done. So if we close the master view, there we go. There's one of our slides. Okay, that's not quite central, so we can tidy that up and sort that out. Now each of our slides needs to move on automatically. So I'm going to select all the slides. I'm going to use the shift key, and we'll go to our transitions. We don't want them moving on a mouse click. They're going to be after 4 seconds each. So I'm just going to change that to 4 seconds. That will make our total of 12 seconds. So there's just been a little pause there, and you'll see I've added in the other images, centered that Lamplighters logo, save you having to watch me do that. What we need to do now is make sure that each of these images comes in from the top and escapes out to the bottom. Now we can do that through transitions, but the transition applies to the whole slide, which means it would do the text as well, which we don't want it to actually do. So what we're going to do is we're going to use animations. So if we select the image, we're going to add an animation to fly in. So if we select that, at the moment it's flying in from the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to change its options so that it flies in from the top. Now all of this you'll need to screenshot to show what you've done. If we change that to be a second, and we need it to happen as the slide comes in, so that will need to happen with previous. Now that brings the image in. That was the top, and now we need it to stay for 2 seconds and then fly out to the bottom. So in order to get it to stay for a couple of seconds and fly out to the bottom, we need to add another animation for it to fly out. Now if we just do it through this, it will replace our flying animation. So we actually need to do it for the add animation option, and we'll choose fly out. There we go. Now what we need that to happen is we need to happen after the previous animation. So when the previous animation is finished, let it take a second, but we need a 2-second delay. And the reason we need that 2-second delay is so that it stays on for 2 seconds. Now what we can do is we can check that what we've done is going to work. So if I'm going to select the animation pane, and if you look at our animation pane, there's our picture. I'm just going to pull this up a bit, and this is a good way of getting a screenshot as well, because you can see then the timing. So you can see this is the coming in, the flying in animation. This is where it's here now for 2 seconds, and that's the flying out animation. So that's a great screenshot to do when it comes to your evidence. What we're going to do now is, just like you can do a format painter, we can also do an animation painter. So I'm going to copy the animation, so I'm going to click on animation painter, go to the next image and click on that, and that now copies the animation to that one. Okay, so now I'll do exactly the same again. So we'll do animation painter, go to third image and copy that. So that will now run through, and what we can do is run the whole presentation. So start on slide 1, see if that works. It does. Moves on to the next one. Checking our timing. Now here we go, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds, 11 seconds, 12 seconds. Perfect. Okay, so next thing is this cannot stay as a presentation. You'll have remembered I was mentioned this right at the beginning, and in the last one as well. It's got to be something that will fit on a website. So what we can do is we can export this within PowerPoint. So if I choose the export option, I can export it as a video. So I'm going to select the create video. We don't need it to be in high definition, it's just going to be for the internet. Seconds spent on each slide. We don't actually need to set this, but we might as well put it as 4 seconds. And because we've done automatic transitions, it's not necessary. And then we'll click on create video. So that will now save it. I'm just going to whack that on my desktop, and then we'll be able to grab that file in a moment. Now if we look at the things that we've done, we've got it 30 centimeters by 6 centimeters. We've got Lamplighter's College appearing, the logo's appearing, it's all staying on. The animation lasts 12 seconds, that was an error there. It does all of these things. But a video will not repeat continuously and automatically. So even if we put it on a website, it's not going to continue repeatedly. We can probably set those settings in the website, but the animation itself isn't doing it. So we need to now convert that MP4 file into a Flash file. So the website we're going to use to convert this into a Flash file is this one here. I've done a lot of research on the different websites and converters that you can use. This one retains all the transitions. It just converts a movie straight into a Flash file. It doesn't add any logos or anything like that onto it. So the first thing we need to do is add the file that we need. So I put mine in the desktop. So we'll just grab that. It was called 3A banner, and remember it's the MP4 file that we need. And then I just convert it. So this will go through the process of converting, and when it's finished, it's now ready to download. So I'll save that link. Might as well save that in my desktop as well. You'll save it wherever you think is appropriate, and of course now we need to test it and make sure that it works. So if I click on this file, here it is. Okay, so we can see that all coming through. quality is not brilliant, quality is not important, so that's fine. And it's repeating, and the whole thing is doing 12 seconds, so it's doing exactly what we want it to do. Now what we now need to do is check against our original requirements. Okay, so we followed the storyboard, but we also need to check, does it match all of these things here? Okay, so is it, okay, this ratio, and go through those one by one. Then the most important part of this task is annotating what you've done. So I've gone through the technical bits and how you actually create it. You now need to annotate it. Now if you look at the similar but different instructions, it takes you through the different things that you need to put in terms of annotation. Look at the similar but different answers and you can see how that is presented. And then when you do your real coursework, you'll know the sort of evidence that you need to provide for this task. So just to recap, we used PowerPoint because it allowed us to achieve most of the things that we wanted. It allowed us to convert it to a video, and then we were able to convert that video into a flash animation. There is a discussion about other software tools that you could use at the beginning of the similar but different tasks for task 3. Have a look at that. If you want to use another tool, that's fine, you can do that. But this method works. It doesn't require any additional add-ins or any additional software to be installed, so it's probably the most suitable way of you going about completing this task. The most important thing is, whatever software you use, it must meet the requirements.